Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Success Life Live. My name is Reid, and today is a Fun Friend Friday, and I'm just sort of looking up here and realizing I got some crazy hair stuff going. But what the heck? It's Friday. It's Fun Friend Friday. And no, I'm not in the festive frock that we typically wear on Fun Friend Friday festive frocks, because I got to head out the door as soon as we're done to go join my daughter at school. It's, pre-Thanksgiving holiday week thing. And so this special ed group is having sort of an afternoon with parents and things like that. So I get to go off and do that here in just a little bit. And so I welcome you to this edition of Success Life Live. Buongiorno, Greg. It is a Fun Friend Friday. My friend Melanie is going to be jumping on the line here in just a minute. Good morning, Melanie. I know you're so excited. So I want to sort of set this up, then we're going to dive in because we got a lot to learn. In the meantime, say hello, say good morning, say buongiorno, do what you do best, but make sure everybody knows we're here. And so share this out as well. So Scott was supposed to be here. Yes, I understand. But when life shifts, I got a call from Scott and he said, here's the thing. I want to do Fun Friend Friday. I got to be there. I'm really called to it, but I've got something else going on. And I feel like I need to have my energy all focused on this thing first thing in the morning. And I don't want to show up and only give half. And I said, you know what? Here's what I know, Scott. Here's what I know, the title of my book someday, is that when we're called to go this direction and we resist, neither is served well. I said, go. And I called my friend Melanie. I said, hey, need a favor, got a question. And she was like, I would love to. It's been on my heart to be a Fun Friend Friday guest, to share parenting with a purpose, to share fearless living. And so it always works out the way it's supposed to work out. Maybe not the way I wanted it to, maybe not the way I planned it, maybe not the way it's in my day timer. But I came up with this thing yesterday and I shared it with our friend Lisa Vasquez. I said, go with your gut. God's undertow is what I consider my gut. It's that feeling that's pulling you out, back into the water, back into something, that silent undertow that they always talk about. When you go to the beach, be careful the undertow, it can sweep you away. Well, I kind of like the God undertow thing. And yes, that's mine, it's original, so you have to quote me when you use it. When you go with your gut, it's that God, that undertow, that silent voice, that thing that's not seen on the surface, but that's pulling us out into deeper waters, deeper experiences, deeper events. So I said, let's go with our gut, Scott. You go do what you need to go. Mel, your gut has been telling you to show up and be here for Fun Friend Friday. And me, I'm just going to be a conduit for both. And so that's what we are. So welcome everybody to this edition of Fun Friend Friday with my friend Melanie. I'm going to invite her on the line because we got to get started. She has got undertow, the undertowed. I'm sorry, Al, you must have kids in your house because that's the same thing. My kids said, what is the undertow and where's the rest of the foot? So the undertowed as well. Gotta go. Whew. Yeah, so anyhow, Melanie has got a lot to offer and I want to make sure we jump in and get this thing started. So as Greg says, let's do this thing called, and this is for you, Gail, and your dog, Fun Friend Friday. Yeah, I know it drives her dog crazy. I have no idea why. It probably drives my family crazy too. Anyhow, I'm going to invite Mel to the line. Why I'm doing that, you get your thinking caps on, you get your journals out, you get your day timers out, you get whatever you do to take notes so you have a place to come back to. All right, Mel, I'm going to hit the invite button. Looks like I'm having trouble inviting you. So let me have you do this. Make sure you're on your phone. Make sure your phone is turned this way. And sign out and sign back in real quick because it's not showing that I have the permission to invite you. Or go ahead and ask yourself to join in. So try that real quick for me. Again, you guys, when you do Facebook Live and don't ask me the technology, I'm not Mark Zuckerberg. Thank God. Honestly, some days I'm so glad I'm not. It always works best when you're phone to phone and when the phones are in like position, because what happens is Facebook's trying to figure out what are the connection points. So Melanie, take care of that for me. So just log all the way out. If you're not on your phone, log in on your phone. If you are on your phone, come back into Facebook and then roll the screen this way. That way we end up side by side. So here's what's interesting, and I've been studying social media and some analogs in Facebook versus LinkedIn versus Instagram versus Pinterest versus Snapchat versus Tumblr and all of the other social medias that are going on out there. You're fixed, Mel. There you go. Technology works. So I'm going to approve you. It's interesting that what's happening out there in the social media sphere with Insta Stories. And if you haven't checked out Insta Story and you're somebody trying to create a message and get it branded and get it out there, you may want to look into Instant Stories. It seems to be moving up in the ranks. It seems to be becoming the most common medium. A lot of people are frustrated with Facebook and Facebook kind of things. And so Insta Story, and then LinkedIn is also becoming a more popular platform for live video, live teaching, and live seminars. It looks like it's adding you, Mel, so just give a minute. Make sure you're in a strong Wi-Fi spot. Sometimes that will cause it to bump. So I want you to understand what she's going through on the other side. She got babies in the house. They typically get up at 8 a.m. And so she had to make sure they were in the right space. I'm going to keep adding her. In the meantime, let's just take a moment. Insta stories are my favorite. See, Melanie Massey, and she's a creative spacer. So understand social media and different social medias. The message you deliver on Insta story is a lot different message than you would do through a webinar, seminar, or something like this Facebook Live. Because when you do Insta stories, it is what it is. It's a story or a capture of your life in an instant format, appealing to a crowd that's more I don't want to say relaxed, but it's more, and not artistic, but they're in a casual place. It's kind of, think of the mom carpool lane where you pull over and go, hey, I got to share this thing with you. I've got to share this idea with you. I've got to dump this thing on you and then move on. It's not as formal, not as educational. It's more inspirational, hearty. Versus LinkedIn is more of a power business centered message. And then Facebook Live is what Facebook Live is. Mel, are we doing okay on your side? Just send me a message. I send you the invite one more time. I will drop into one of my crazy accents because I have no idea where that comes from sometimes. I used to say that I can mimic and match because no matter where I go, I tend to pick up the accent of the day. So I have no idea where that's coming. Yes, relax. Get to know me better kind of space. Very good. Thank you, Melanie Massey, for that. So if you're not doing Instant Story is not you holding a script and teaching a lesson. Instant Story is like, this just dumped on me, came to me, exploded through me, whatever. And I just feel that I want to share it with my tribe, my people, my likers, my friends. And so to do that, I'm going to hit this button called Insta Story and go. Now, the average Insta story, 5 minutes. That's like a sweet spot, like plus or minus, but hanging around 5 is a lot. If you're trying to do a LinkedIn, according to all the statistics and data and everything around LinkedIn Live and LinkedIn posts, 2 minutes. Anything beyond that 2-minute mark, you start to lose your audience trends. Facebook Live, a little bit different group, a little bit different attitude. Depending on how you set it up, it's considered an interruption. So you either drop and go, or something like this where it's planned. People can tend to settle in, have a different perspective, and can stay longer. I just posted over there about the donut shop. Wouldn't share that details. Yes. See, Melanie, you and I just chat here while I see Melanie trying to hook up. I see she's trying to add, just so you guys all know, she's over there. I think she's running around the house trying to find the right sweet spot for the Wi-Fi. And again, the guest declined. Don't decline. Click accept the invitation, Melanie. So I think she just logged back out. Now she's logging back in. And let's try again. So click accept. And you have to be coming on board through your Facebook channel, not your business channel. Ask for the invite again if you need to. I'm not sure why it's bouncing you. So Insta Story, going back to that. So think of walking through your life and having a drone sort of floating over your head. And you kind of look up at it and go, Share this, moving on. Share this, moving on. Now, if you're building a brand, if you're building a network, if you're building a tribe, understand that, Melanie Massey, and I'm going to use you. You're seen as an artistic person. You also have this thing called physical therapy and that thing going on that side. So I'm going to follow you, and I'm going to be inspired by what you discover as art, as inspiration, as moments that move you into your creative space, or moments that move you into your physical therapy and the work that you do there. If suddenly you're talking about something completely different and random, I'm going to be like, that's not why I follow her. Remember, they're not really close friends. They've tagged you because they like your hair, like your dress, like your voice, like your business, like what you're creating. And so stay within that space. See, all these finger moves are me connecting and approving, Melanie. I'm not sure what's going on. So stay within that space, but be free to be a little bit you on each end and each side. When you're in LinkedIn, same idea, Facebook. So often I will read through clients' Facebook feeds, and I do a lot of coaching and social media and business building and branding with companies and teams and individuals. And what I find is their Facebook feeds are so inconsistent. Their LinkedIn feeds are so inconsistent. To go and watch. Yeah, it's voluntary, so make sure. I'll go back to that. But they're like 1 minute, it's like, I'll look at Melanie. And again, Melanie, you don't mind me using you because you're very good at it. I know that I can always get a picture of the girls of the day. And I know that there's always something inspiring, artistic, like something visual. Melanie's a visual person. She's an inspiration through visual. So I can always she's like my own private Pinterest, actually. But if suddenly she was talking about politics and whether we should do water reform acts in Alabama, I'd be like, I'm disconnected. I come to you. You are my source of, you are my inspiration of, you're my person for this. And all of a sudden you're over here. And I'll let it go maybe once, maybe twice. But all of a sudden, if the conversation, if the direction changes, if the focus changes, I'm like, yeah, I don't need another one of those in my life. I've already got somebody managing that space, that thought, that thing for me. I counted on you for this. I friended you for this. I liked you for this. And now you've gone ahead and changed. Now, politics, if you're in the political space, if you're a political commentator and you're a political head, and I need your opinions, I'm going to choose you for that. But don't start throwing politics in the middle of my art. Go live. So you're on your phone, Melanie? You like how I'm doing these two conversations? It's because I'm schizo. And then remember that as you grow your brand, as you begin to move your brand, as you begin to move your voice into social media, that there's some things that fall away. And truthfully, let's be honest. All right, I'm going to try one more time. Make sure you're not on private. Check your settings to make sure you have public and things like that turned off or turned on, however you want to say it. There's things that need to fall away. And so what I mean by that is, yeah, if this is the only way you can communicate with your mother, your brother, your uncle, your family, your friends, then you got a bad relationship. And Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest won't change that. So understand that what you're putting out there, even if it has private or family settings, is really public domain, and that you have to speak to sort of a common group or denominator. You'll see very rarely on my Facebook page things about my kids. Now, I'll put it up there, but it's not like deep dive, everything about my kids, what happened, we went to the doctor, he skinned us. No, because that's stuff that, truthfully, it's between me and my partner and my family, and the world doesn't need to know it. And truthfully, the world doesn't look at me for that in that space. And so make sure that you're being consistent in your voice, being consistent in your brand, being consistent in who you are and what you do every day on Facebook, because it's a very unforgiving beast. It will, I'm sorry, Melanie, I'm trying to find you here on my page. It's a very unforgiving beast. We've all done that. Like, we've gone through somebody's Facebook feed, or we've connected to somebody on LinkedIn, and all of a sudden their language and their voice and everything about them, this is my fat finger trying to figure out where we're at. Go ahead and send me a request to join again, Melanie. So all of a sudden we'll start looking, and it's like, say what? And we might, depending on the length of relationship, I might be like, yeah, that's okay. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, block. Or I think now Facebook has, what's it called? Take a break or something. I forgot what it's called, but it's basically like, we're on a break. I don't want to see you anymore in my news feed. I don't want to see you anymore on my Instagram or my cycle. Adding. Melanie, we're going for it. We're going to make this happen, girl. And then after that level, I'm going to drop you off. Now, since we're on Facebook and I'm sort of doing what we do here on live TV, well, how am I doing on the live TV, like juggling two conversations? Because none of this was planned, none of this was scripted. This thing where I'll see somebody say, oh, you have to like comment below because Facebook is only going to allow the top 25 things to be seen in my newsfeed, or I'm no longer seeing you in my newsfeed, blah, blah, blah. You know, that thing that you see everybody post in their Facebook? It doesn't work that way, people. It just doesn't work. I so laugh when I see that, and I also get so frustrated because here's what happens with the whole Facebook feed. I never see you in my thing. And so we're getting into a Facebook lesson. So hang on, get your notebooks out. This is Social Media Training 101. So when you post consistently and you get responses, whether it's from the individual or from a group of individual, Facebook suddenly looks and goes, "Ooh, this is important. Something over here happening. Look at all these comments, likes, shares, buttons. And Eric happens to be friends with Melanie Massey. So because they're friends and everybody's talking about this, I should let Melanie know that they're talking about this because she knows Eric and she also knows this person and that person in the group and they're all talking about it. So now we're going to talk about it." But if you post once a week and get 5 comments, Facebook in its big algorithm brain thing says, yeah, not really relevant material. So I'm not going to bother everybody on your social media feed with this information because even the people that are commenting aren't really enthusiastic. And so I don't want to clutter other people's space because remember, Facebook is in the business of keeping you engaged, keeping your finger on your eyeballs on Facebook. And they know that if they're continually dumping crap in your news feed, then guess what's going to happen? You're going to disengage, uninvolve, leave Facebook and look for other mediums. So the only thing that's going to show up in your news feed is either stuff that you've commented on because Facebook says, oh, you're interested in this, so I'm going to keep you informed about it because this is what you're talking about, this is what other people are talking about, this is a current conversation, so it's going to show up in your news feed. Or it will say, this is really relevant. Eric posted this video and it has like 1,000 likes and 10,000 comments and you're a friend of Eric and you might want to look over the fence and see what he's doing. And to make it easy for you to look over the fence and see what he's doing, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to make it easy for you to find. It's going to be in your newsfeed. So when you talk about not being seen in other people's news feeds, when you talk about not being relevant in other people's news feeds, when you talk about why doesn't anybody ever see me, it's because you're not posting consistent quality content that Facebook's like, yeah, it's not really relevant. It's kind of like, that friend that calls you once every 3 years. You're kind of like, yeah, you're not in my life enough for me to cancel my kid's dance class and drive halfway across town to see you. And so if you want, I'm going to try Melanie one more time. I'm just going to keep doing this as we're doing it. And if she suddenly shows up beside me, we're having a magic day. Melanie, I think it's got to be a private setting or it's got to be turn off your Wi-Fi and try just cell phone. Try that trick if this doesn't work. So what happens is Facebook will say, I'm not going to clutter up his newsfeed. I'm not going to dump stuff in it. So I saw a brilliant example of this, and I'll sort of explain how it. So when you see people ask those questions, like, what do you do? Peanut butter or jelly or both? Those questions are designed that everybody gets engaged and writes these big, long responses. And then what happens in Facebook mentality, Facebook algorithm, social media thinking, whatever you want to call it, Mark Zuckerberg goes, wow, look at Eric. He asked about peanut butter and jelly. Now, Mark's not looking at what the question was. What he's looking at is the engagement that it created. And he's like, look at all of these people that engage. oh my gosh, Eric must be really popular. Eric's conversations must be really trending. Eric must really own this space. Guess what's going to happen? The next thing I post, he's going to assume Mark Zuckerberg sitting in his little Facebook kingdom will look and go, well, you know what? Every time Eric posts, he gets a lot of comments, and Melanie Massey's a friend of Eric's, and he just posted something, so I must send it over to him or her because she doesn't want to miss another Eric thing. So here's what happens, or here's what I see happen. The Davester. Dave Gambrell, he's got the whole back end stuff. Geesh, scares me. Um, but so here's what I see happen is somebody will ask one of those questions, one of those pop-ups, one of those engagement things, and they'll get like 30 or 40 people commenting, and it'll be a conversation, and it's kind of like the best party ever. And then guess what they do? They don't post anything for a day, 2 days, a week, a month. And then they're like, nobody's ever engaging in my Facebook. You know what? That was like a week ago. That's like so old news. That's like, yeah. Have you ever watched the news cycle on CNN or Fox? Yesterday's news break, we don't even hear about on Tuesday or Wednesday. So why would all of that engagement and social media and Google juice and Facebook juice and Instagram juice and Pinterest group and all that, why would all of that juice carry over for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days? It doesn't. So if you want to develop your business, and I see Melanie is working hard behind the scenes. She is just scrambling like the duck underwater feet thing. If you want your business to grow through social media, you need to show up and have. So when I work with my coaching clients, we have a social media schedule. Like I'm going to post this content across these channels at these times at this frequency with this goal. And so it's not like, oh yeah, I just saw a really great donut shop. I bet Dave could help Melanie connect. I don't know. Dave Gambrell. Dave is really good at like the ClickFunnels, the drip campaigns, the lead magnets, those kind of things that like I call it the sticky of social media, like the fly traps. He's really good at the fly paper kind of stuff. The stuff that once you're attached to it, it really chases you and keeps track of you. Love Dave Gambrell for that. So as I was saying, when you're setting up your business, when you're setting up your decision to use social media to grow your online business or grow your offline business, you've got to have a sketch. If you go back to the old days of marketing, when we used to use pen and paper kind of marketing, we used to have newspapers and other print media, you would have this entire calendar of what the schedule for marketing was. We're going to run this ad with this campaign. We're going to overlap this holiday, and you would write it out. And back in the old days, you would do it for 3, 6 months, even a year at a time, because you had to buy print space and media space, and all of this stuff had to be done old school, old way. Now with social media, ClickFunnels, the fly paper. So now with social media, we have 2 levels, Melanie, so to speak, is we have the engagement, the tribe building, the language, the voice, the content, and that has to be all engaged consistently across the calendar board. So you need to know, like, okay, this is our community, this is our public voice, this is our business voice, this is the content we're placing out there, this is the language that we're going to use. Like all of that has to be laid out. And then the things down below, like the ClickFunnels, is once we get these people hearing us, knowing us, understanding what we're about, then we drive them through ClickFunnels social media landing pages over here. And that's sort of like bringing them into the store. Like, okay, they now know that we sell the very best ice cream or the lowest fat ice cream or the highest caffeinated coffee in Brooklyn. And now they're driving down the street to get it. Once they get in the store, what does that experience look like? Where do we build customer retention, customer engagement, long-term customer connectivity? And then how do we track it? And that's where the ClickFunnels, the lead pages, the drip campaigns, and all of the other back-end things are. And so For instance, I worked with a team that had, I'm trying to remember, I think it was like 27,000 names in their database. And I was like, how are you engaging with them? And they're like, what do you mean? I was like, no, how are you engaging with them? And they were like, well, we're really not. And I'm like, you have 27,000 people in your database. If 10% of those people, and this was a real estate brokerage team, if 10% of those people continue to do business with you year over year, what would that look like? And of course, it was like, holy crap. I was like, but you're not marketing to even 50% of them. You're not engaging even 30% of them. You're not even talking to 10% of them. And yet you've acquired all of these people that have already given you the vital statistics of their life, their name, their phone number, their email address, and their likes and nots. And you're not engaging with them? And they were like, well, how do we engage with them? I'm like, you don't have to sell to them. You just have to engage. You have to be present. You have to be purposeful so that when somebody decides they need high caffeinated coffee, or they need somebody to design a journal, or when they need somebody to do this, they've already got you in the little gray space of their mind. Like, we all can do this. Like, if I said, I need a plumber, you would be like, you know who you need to call? You need to call my friend Frank, Bob, Janice, whatever, because they are the best plumber I've ever met. Now, you're not walking around all day going, if anybody asks, I know the plumber. If anybody asks, I know the plumber. No, it's stayed in the recesses of your mind because of the engagement, because of the connectivity, because of what's going on. It's the same thing McDonald's does. When you look at what McDonald's does campaigning, you know McDonald's sells burgers. And you know in the back of your mind, if I said, where's the nearest McDonald's? You could name three. That golden arches, that image on the side of the road that you drive by every day, you're like, oh, I know where one is if I need it, but I'll go past it today. If you've got even one email address, two emails, three email addresses, and you're not engaging with them, if you're not connecting with them, if you're not involving them in your voice, you're throwing away business. And then I see this so often. Sorry, we kind of went off on a whole different tangent. And I apologize. I know everybody wants to hear Melanie. We may have to rebook that one as well. I see this so often that people will go out and spend money on click funnels and landing pages and drip campaigns and like all of this stuff that we get in our mailboxes, and then they never engage it. It's like buying a Ferrari and parking it in the garage. It's like, really? Really? Unless you're a collector of Ferraris, I'm not really sure why you wasted the money on this thing. When, if you have 100 people in your database and you called 3 people a day and just said, hello, my name is Eric, and I just wanted to let you know I'm alive and breathing. And if there's anything you would ever need in this space, I'm here to help. Click goodbye. You could go through the whole list in 10, 15 minutes. 3 people a day, you'd be at the bottom of the list. And guess what happens? The next month you start again. I don't use Melanie Massey's business because I know she does physical therapy. It's not hard to say, okay, your kid was involved, your patient was involved for a 30, 60, 90-day thing. Hey, I just want to follow up and see how it's going. How's your progress? You know, I was thinking back, reflecting back on when you worked with us. It was such a wonderful experience. If we can ever be of any help to you now or in the future, let us know. And if you happen to know of somebody that may need something like this, we're opening a clinic, doing this thing, doing that thing, whatever, next Thursday, where we're going to talk about how to make your kid more mobile in a non-mobile society or whatever it is. You don't need ClickFunnels, lead campaigns, sticky grams. You need to commit to picking up the phone, picking up the email, and engaging with the people that you've got going on in your life. I get so frustrated with people that spend money trying to create business when they are sitting on a nest full of business. Like I said, this company had 30,000 names, and they were doing no post engagement. Over the course of 5 or 6 years, looking for repeat customers. For sure. So here's the thing: is you don't get repeat customers. You get loyal fans that seek you out. If you're really good at whatever your space is, they're going to ask you for all kinds of things like, you know what? You are my trusted, you are my go-to, you are my girl when it comes to physical therapy. Now, I've got this question. Do you know anybody that happens to know how to do scooters, how to do ramps, how to assist stroke patients. You know what? I got to go ask my girl Melanie because she probably know that thing. And then I get them to be like, you know what? I've got this backache. I don't think I really need physical therapy. No, but you know what? We got a guy on staff who does chiropractic specialties. Maybe we need to book you in just for a session. They spread the message. They become your apostles. They become your disciples. They become the voice. But they don't do it when you, and we've all had this experience, where you date somebody and the next morning you wake up and they're gone and they didn't even leave their phone number on the bedside table. You're not going to pick up the phone and say, hey, do we have a relationship? I want to check. Like, where are we at together? No, you're done and gone and they're done and gone. But if you continue to engage and provide value and provide connectivity and provide information into the space that you're best known for, they are going to be all over you like sticky paper. And they're not going to want to leave. But instead, what we do as business entrepreneurs, owners, is we jump out of that and like, well, I'm going to buy ClickFunnels. I'm going to buy Kajabi. I'm going to buy Drip Campaign. I'm going to buy this. I'm going to buy this lead magnet, that thing. It's like, really? Because if you had five people last year in your business, 2018, and you talk to those five people consistently and with connectivity and consciousness, and they talk to five people. Now that's 5 times 5. Your business just grew fivefold times fivefold. That's like 25 people now in 2019 that know of you. And again and again and again and again. Start with what you have. Quit trying to attract new clients. Quit trying to be like, oh, I'm going to go all over social media and create this lead funnel and have all these people in, until you manage the people that you already have. These people have already either paid money or paid time to get to know you. And you're treating them like last night's bar friend. And so I apologize. I've gone off on a tangent. See what you did to me, Melanie? But I work with so many entrepreneurs as a coach and as a business builder, and really a lot of realtors and small business owners. And they're always like, what can I do to grow my business? And I'm like, what have you done to maintain the connectivity and the contacts that you currently have in your business? Have you really sat down and said, you know what? Hey, Melanie, you and I, we used to do business. You used to come into the shop every single day, and I haven't seen you for 2 to 3 months. Now, I want to check in. Is there something that's changed in your business, in your pattern, in your life, that we're no longer needed? Or is there something that we did that wasn't right that I could fix that could help you and me re-engage? Because I value you as a friend and as a client, and I want to continue to grow that relationship, and I feel like we've hit the bad spot. How can we fix it? You know, I was out with a client yesterday, and as you know, I still do real estate. My clients list is very small because I do more coaching. But they called me and said, we know you know what we need to know about this house. Could you please, what is your schedule? When can you fit us in? We need you. Why? Because they had consistently, for over 2.5 years, received something of value from me that made them know that I was the person that could provide the solution for what they were doing. I didn't have to spend money on recruiting and lead funnels and click campaigns and Facebook ads and all of that trying to create a new customer. I spent far less money on maintaining the contacts and the customer that I have. So I'm going to give you another example because we're just off on a tangent today. I get to be that way. It's Friday. So I had seen another client of mine post on Facebook that the house was down with the plague, so to speak, that they had kids and everybody had gotten this like flu thing. I'm like, opportunity, engagement, connectivity. Packed up some Gatorade, packed up some Pedialyte, packed up some coloring books, packed up some crayons, put it all in a little gift bag. You know, the things that if, as a dad, if I was sitting at home and I had sick kids, what I would want. I almost thought about putting whiskey or tequila in there, but I knew them better than that. Put it in the bag, walked up to the house, dropped it on the doorstep, got in my car, said, FYI, when you have the strength, go to the door, left you something behind. What did it cost me? A tenth of what it would cost me to go out and find that new client, find that new relationship, spend money on Facebook ads that have no impact and no stickiness. Plus, it fell in line with my core values of being of contribution and giving to others and being of service when needed. So I got to do what I love to do. They got to receive it as a client, as a friend, and the engagement and the growth. Instead of spending 3 hours like searching down the newest social media platform to grow a business, I just maintain the connectivities and the clients and the people that I'm with. I'm going to try this one more time, this melody. Da, 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 da. So I know we went off on social media. I know we started with Instagram, talked about Facebook, went to LinkedIn, now talked about client and drip campaigns and lead funnels and all of that. But what I so often see, and I, as a coach, I get called in to help people grow a business, brand a business, market a business, develop a business, chase their dream, live their life with passion, is they're spending so much time and energy and money chasing the unknown client when they have all of these known clients, customers, engagements that they're not maintaining, they're not investing in, they're not spending the time on those people who are already stuck to their paper, so to speak. We spend so much money thinking we got to go out there. And I think a lot of it is fear. Like when I first began in business, I was like, I ain't going to ask for a referral. What if they say no? I'm not going to ask for a reference or a testimonial. What if it's really crappy and they hated me? Like I didn't want to know what the unknown was, even if it was good. So I would like spend all my money out there and all my time and energy going to the stranger, because the stranger has obviously got to have a better opinion of me than the person that just worked with me, was kind of my mindset. But once I started really investing in the people that I had already made a connection with, already had done business with, already knew somebody that knew somebody that knew somebody in it, what I first began to find out was I'm not so bad at what I do. I'm kind of good at it, like, oh my gosh. And then I realized that, you know what? I like working with people that I already worked with because we've already succeeded once. Now we just rinse and repeat and do it again and again and again. And then we expand it. And guess what? They become my apostles, my disciples, my raving fans, my whatever you want to call it. And I don't have to do as much work in selling myself because I got all these other people selling me. I just show up and do what I do well. And so think about your business. Think about the way you're trying to grow it. As you look at the end of 2018 and look into 2019, and you start to say, I've got this business plan. I've got this thing I want to create. I want to go in this direction. This is where we need to be, whether it's based on the number of clients, number of dollars, number of engagements. And you start looking at all the external sources that you want to bring in to make it happen. Look down and go, okay, who did I connect with this year? Who spent money on me? Who came into our store, came into our school, came into our shop? Who did I have at least a moment of stickiness with? And then what have I done with that since? And how could I amplify that, increase that, make it more real, make it more connected to a degree that I would gain pleasure out of it? I would give service and be of service to them. But they would also begin to keep me in top of mind when it came to the space that I'm in. When I think of things that I need done in my world or done in my business or done whatever, I know there are people that I go to. They're like, you know what? I don't talk to you every day, but you use my go-to person. Use my go-to person for this. And I'll even tell them, like, look, you don't even need to market to me anymore because you have proven yourself. You have established yourself. You are the expert for me in this thing. So just hang on. Don't worry about it. If I need you, I'll call you. And if you need me, you call me. Because they have maintained connectivity. They have maintained contribution. They have maintained the relationship after the dollar. They didn't get up the morning after, put on their clothes, and leave me hanging there. No, they said, look, I want to make this a relationship. I want to build this into something that we both can benefit from long term. So I apologize. We kind of went off on a weird little spin for Fun Friend Friday. I'm going to give Melanie just one more chance here. Sorry, Melanie. I hope you guys kind of like this little social media test, little social media training, little idea of what to do in your business. Like I said, I understand the click funnels, the lead funnels, the Kajabi, all the back end stuff. But honestly, it's like buying a Ferrari and living at the end of a gravel dirt road. So you're never going to be able to use it and get it up to speed until you pave the road, learn the path, and figure out what you're doing now with what you got now. There is no system, no product, no solution that you can buy online that's going to grow your business if you are not maintaining and managing the business you currently have. And I believe this not only as a business owner and a business builder and an entrepreneur and a thinker in that space, but as a person of faith. I do not get rewarded for the things that I do not currently do well. Like my son does not get to go off and do something that he hasn't earned the privilege and the right, and I don't have the trust and experience for him to do. So why would the universe reward me with 10,000 more clients just because I created a landing page, a click funnel, a sticky page, whatever, when the clients and the customers that I've been given, I'm not maintaining, I'm not building, I'm not growing? We so often get in this idea that, oh, please God, grow my business, triple it, quadruple it, blah, blah, blah. Like we're like, oh man, I just really wish I could 10x my business. I'm like, how are you 10xing the service, the contribution, the connectivities that you have right now? I can try my mom. So, how are you invested in what you got now? How are you magnifying what's under your nest right now? Because you're not going to be able to manage. If I called you tomorrow and said, guess what? I'm doubling your workload. I'm doubling your client load. I'm doubling your inflow. How long would you survive at that level until the system started to crash because you didn't have the tools and the processes in place? So while you're praying for your business to grow, while you're planning for it to double, triple, quadruple, 10x or whatever, check what you got going on now. How am I servicing my clients? How am I servicing our repeats and referrals? Yes. How are you making this happen now? Are you honoring the clients and the business that you have at the highest level? Are you mastering the bike with the training wheels? Because I ain't buying you a motorcycle if you can't get down the block with the bike and the training wheels. All right? That's just the way it works in business. So, and in recap, thank you, Melanie. I appreciate Melanie Massey. And Melanie, I appreciate, girl, I know you are back behind the scenes just freaking and screaming and panicking. Shh. Breathe into it and know. Breathe into it and know. That just don't worry about it. Life is short. Roll with it, as I say. So again, in short and in closing and in recap, Instagram or Insta stories seems to be trending right now in social media. That doesn't mean give up everything you're doing on Facebook and jump over here and then next week jump over there and then jump over here. Consistency and discipline, but explore Insta story, explore that channel, explore your voice in that, and then begin to talk into other people. Like, okay, does my product, does my voice, does what I'm doing sell, work well in LinkedIn? What does that look like? How do I do that? And then Facebook, understand that Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, when he and I sat down and created this Facebook thing, the idea was everything that happens around it, all of the marketing and ad space and all of the stuff that he's able to sell because you're being engaged, guess what? That's what he's focused on. And so if you want to be relevant on Facebook and other people's news feeds and build a business on social media and build a business primarily with Facebook, you have got to be consistent and engaged and create engagement. And since we're on it, thumbs up on somebody's post does not rank as an engagement. So they have this sort of score, and I can't show it to you because I promised Mark Zuckerberg I wouldn't let anybody know this, but you guys are my friends, so we're just gonna. So the more time it takes you to create the response, the higher the engagement is. So a thumbs or a heart or a like, that's like, it barely gets registered. A comment or a dialogue comment, it's like, okay, he took the time to type. He must have really enjoyed it. A video response or a GIF or something, the GIFs, they kind of fall in between. But like a video response or a multiple engagement or a linked engagement or a share with a comment, suddenly it's like, oh wow, people are talking about it and commenting on it and sharing it and getting other people commenting on it. This must be relevant. We need to continue to grow it. So if you're trying to help somebody grow their social media business, or if you've got a team, one of the things you can do is make sure your team members are not just hitting like buttons, share buttons, happy face buttons, but are actually talking down below the video, the post, the whatever, because that will not only make it relevant on their space, it'll make it relevant on your space, and then it will multiply and expand. All right, so again, little business lesson, here we go. If you're growing a business and you're going to use social media to make it happen, here's one of my recommendations. Five friends. If you can get 10, you're a rock star. Get 5 people, tell them for the next 30 days, you need their help in growing your social media presence, online presence, whatever you want to call it, that you're going to be posting this, and this is the content, and this is the schedule. You need them to do 1, comment below, make a comment, be interactive with it, engage with it, and then share it, and that you'll do the same to them. So it's kind of like a quilting bee. Like if you make 5 squares for my quilt, I'll make 5 squares for your quilt, and then she'll make 5 squares for both of our. You got it? Have you ever, I know Melanie Massey has done this, the cookie exchange thing where you make like 5 dozen of the same cookies, and then the next person does, and then you come and cookie swap, and at the end of the day, you get 5 different kinds of cookies, that kind of thing. Think of your social media team, your social media group, your social media network, those 5 friends in the same way. You've got to be intentional. You've got to be working as a team. You've got to be like, look, every time I post, I need you to comment. And when you post, if you don't see me comment within the first 5 minutes, send me a message so I go back over and direct it. If you're running a team, obviously it's easier to be the boss and tell the team what to do. If you're an entrepreneur, a solopreneur, a mompreneur, a creatorpreneur, a dreampreneur, and I don't know any more preneurs that I can add to that list, then call 5 friends and say, starting on December 1st, November 15th, whatever date you pick, I need to grow my social media and I need you to be my Facebook. And then you could maybe do an Instagram, a LinkedIn, a Pinterest group, et cetera, that. And I need you to comment. I need you to engage. I need you to create this to be what it is. When you look at the masters, the Kardashians, sorry, I have to bring the reference, they're who they are. They're making millions of dollars doing literally nothing. And I say literally nothing. I know they have product lines and modeling careers, but they got to doing where they're doing simply because they got a lot of people engaged. And if we are old enough to remember how the first engagement happened, it wasn't so glamorous and glorious, but people started talking about it. And then the conversation stayed alive and alive and alive. And then they landed on that platform and built it and grew it. Now, I'm not saying you need to make a little video or whatever. I'm just using that as a reference. All right. Well, I appreciate you guys so much for joining me for Success Life Live. I know that we were going to have a Fun Friend Friday. Melanie, I want you to know, girl, I love you with all my heart. I appreciate you. This technology thing, it fights us. It's ugly. It beats us up. But guess what? It don't own us. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, as my friends in New York say. I just had to learn to improv. I think I did pretty good. 45-minute improv without notes or a topic. I will declare myself an official speaker today. But no, business building, social media, getting entrepreneurs, solopreneurs up and running is really my passion and my joy. It's what I love to see happen when somebody finally gets to have that breakthrough and they take all of the tools, all of the resources, all of the creativity that they have, and they use it to build the life that they seek. That's what Success Life is all about. It's not that end of the road, big award, standing on the stage, getting the banner and the crown and all that. That's nice. But when you're able to live every single day doing what you love, doing it with passion and purpose, And yeah, sometimes the struggle is real, but hey, that's what makes it fun. Then you're living a life of success. And that's what I, as a coach, love to do. That's what I love to be able to create for others. Control, and controllable. You choose your attitude. This is A and fearless. All right, choose my attitude. Um, hey, I get to go spend the afternoon. So I'm moving up. Melody, you'll appreciate this. So what do we call it? Special ed group, physical adapted group. I don't know what we call her classroom. The first floor near the door group. How's that? Today they've invited all the parents in to spend the afternoon working with our kids and having lunch and all of this. I'm both excited and then nervous because the scale of mobility, the scale of autism, or the range of autism and needs adapted PE. It's yeah, adaptive. So the range is really long because we're combining all of the classrooms. So we have the kids that they're kind of like on the autism scale, more sociable, more, that kind of, and then you have the complete. And I always get uncomfortable in those situations. They make me feel very vulnerable and very insecure and not knowing how to adapt and how to handle it. And so when the invite came out, I was like, oh, how do we get out of this? Can't we just send a dozen cookies with our daughter? I said, no. So I called the teacher and I asked her, where do you need extra help? Where do you need somebody to move to the front so that you can be more engaged with the parents that'll be there and more engaged with the kids? Do you need me to manage a craft? Do you need me to manage storytelling? Do you need me to lead an activity? How can I be more involved so that you can be less involved? Because I appreciate what you do every day for my daughter and the other students in the classroom. So I have an assignment as well. So I'm not only going outside my comfort zone, I'm like leaping off the cliff, and I'm going to be like engaging at a very high level with a group of wonderful kids. Honestly, they're really wonderful and they're really exciting and they're great energy. It's just my insecurities and I don't know what it is, but after today it's probably going to be so diminished I wouldn't even remember it. So that's my afternoon. That's me getting to live into my success, getting to be able to take the afternoon off. I've worked really hard Monday through Thursday. I've already recorded the podcast. I've already posted the YouTube video. I've already done all the blogging for next week. I am like almost a week ahead. You don't think about how you will handle it. Just love them. Change the frequency in the room. And that's, thank you, Melanie. I'm going to do that one again in the parking lot. I have spent the last 24 hours with my daughter, telling her how excited I am. I let her pick out my clothes. I let her pick out her clothes. We made it this whole big event. She's on the way to school this morning. She reminded me. I have a note on my desk that she kind of wrote, inviting me. So I made it this is a big thing. And I've asked her if I get to come and who I should know. And we went over all the pictures of the kids in our class, so I know their names and all of that. We've been setting up for success and engagement. But when I speak of living a life of success, being able to engage and connect with my kids and my community and my kids' community is one of the things that I value most. And so, hey, I get to do it. So that's my afternoon. I hope you guys have a fantastic afternoon. I appreciate you joining me for today's Success Life Live. We will have a Fun Friend Friday, not next Friday, because everybody's got to be with their family or Black Friday shopping. And then we will be back on schedule the following Friday with the Fun Friend Friday. My dear friend, Miss Melanie, Dr. Tanya Lowe just jumped in the house. This is all on social media, Dr. Lowe. You might want to go back and listen in. My friend Melanie, you are rescheduled, girl. And in the meantime, you and I will meet offline and make sure all our technology works to the best. And Melanie Massey, thank you for all your encouragement and being my little test subject as we talked about it today. You are honestly, you're my go-to girl when I need to see your girls. They are an inspiration and an encouragement to me. I'm just kidding. I thank you guys so much for being a part of Success Life Live this morning. I will see you Monday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern. Till then, Go out and live your life with success. It is yours to have, and you are worthy of it. Bye bye, everybody. Have a great day.